a little bit on a brainstorm here. Where do you get your best ideas? Where do you get your breakthroughs? You, not with clients now, you. Where suddenly you get that aha. Or you have a problem that you've been working on and suddenly you have the solution, even when you're seemingly not working on it. Well, we've been surveying this for a while, for, I don't know, 9 years or so on. Almost 80% of people say they get their best ideas in the shower. This could be the next area of mastery, right, in ELI, right? While exercising, or while driving or commuting. So there's lots of others, right? Well, what's interesting about these is we don't go, I have this terrible problem, I think I'll go take a shower. No, we don't do it. It doesn't work that way. We don't even try to solve it, but we relax, the mind settles down, starts to connect and correlate different things, seemingly effortlessly, without even intention, and boom, the answer comes. Yet, we organize our lives to run away from these moments. But despite that, occasionally they catch up to us and come. So what if we organized ourselves for these pauses and transformation? That's what we're doing in Executive to Leader Institute. It's an organized, systematic pause and reflection process to let this pause principle surface and to leverage it. We tend to run away from this potential for transformation, but we need to give it space. Coaching is a pause. Assessment is a pause. Strategy is a pause. Offsites are a pause. Learning together like we're doing is a pause. All of these things, pause precedes real transformation. Spiritual practices are a pause. Exercise is a pause. Health is a pause. Self-awareness is a pause. So the most important things, pause usually precedes that transformation. ELI is a systematic way to help people do it. And amazingly, you're going to do it with them and get a lot of learning too. Hurry sickness is just epidemic today. All of our devices, all of our things, I mean, we can fill up everything with transaction. They did research a while ago on endorphins get peaked when we check off a to-do list. Now, it could be totally unimportant, totally meaningless, but we still get an endorphin rush. So we have to be very conscious. How are we using this time? Is it really important? Because it's addictive. We can get addictive to really meaningless, non-productive, energy-draining things. So we have to know that to make sure, are we really focused on what's important? So pause principle. So on one axis, we've got degree of complexity, which is what a lot of our clients have to convert complexity to clarity. Warren Bennis said the role of leadership is to bring hope and clarity. Hope is the affective, emotional part, and clarity, maybe the intellectual sorting out part. So let's just deal with complexity, low to high, and then degree of pause and reflection, low to high in the other axis. When we blend these, you see some interesting things. When things are not very complex, we don't have to pause very much. In fact, when they're not very complex, pause is dysfunctional. We need to be transactive. We need to get things done and do it efficiently and with minimal expenditure of resources and energy and time. That's what management is about. Processes and efficiencies and effectiveness. Maybe it used to be complex, but it's not anymore. And if we can take the complex, make it non-complex, before our competitors can and get efficient, we have competitive advantage. Okay? So this transactive part is the box of management. Then we've got the hypoactive, that it's not very complex, but we're pausing a lot for all sorts of reasons. Maybe fear, maybe overanalysis, maybe we're not skilled or experienced in that area, so we hold back even though it's not very complex, and we need development or training or encouragement to stretch and go in that direction, any number of things. But this is an area that we want to get ourselves, others, clients, teams out of. Now sometimes hypoactive is justified. It's fear and it's for good reasons. Maybe we better pull back and exit and so on. But for our clients, it's usually not about, you know, life or death situations and how can we get ourselves or others out of the hypoactive when it's not very complex. And then we have the box where most of our clients and ourselves and our organizations are hyperactive. It's really complex, but we're not really sorting through what's important and what's essential and so on. So we get a hyperactive response. And we try to go faster and faster to do more and more with less and less energy and time and resources and alignment, and it's not too pretty. So this hyperactive place is another place we want to be aware of and get out of. Now sometimes we go through the hyperactive when we step into something really complex, and in those first stages we haven't sorted out, we get more hyperactive as we're sorting through it. But if we're stepping into that for the right reason, there can be purpose to it. And then there's the transformative, where there's high complexity, but we engage it. This could be engaging it to build self-awareness, personal view of this model. It could be engaging it with the team to look at how are we behaving, valuing each other. It could be engaging it for strategy. So through all these different levels of personal and interpersonal and organizational leadership, all of these different dynamics tend to show up. Now, the sweet spot of moving from management transaction to leadership transformation is back and forth between these two realities here. Because if we're only in the transformative all the time, the business falls apart. And the individual does too. You have to, like, you know, transact your life, right? So you can't just be in the transformative. If we're just in the transactive, we're really efficient, but the future is not being created and competitors will put us out of business. So the sweet spot of going to the transformative, downloading into the transactive, making it very efficient, and then having enough time out of the transactive to go into the transformative. So the transactive runs the business in current state, transformative creates the future. Both are crucial.